Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Lifestyle Guide podcast. This is the first episode. So, I've had my website and related things for about a year and a half now, and I just decided that I wanted to do a podcast as well because I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like to read, so they don't want to read blog posts or books, they just want to listen. And I do have a YouTube channel, but I kind of wanted to have a podcast as well so I could just make some recordings of just me talking about a subject rather than having some fancy production because it's kind of time consuming to make a video. You got to find the pictures and then put the words on it. And this way is much faster. I can just talk. So that's why I created this podcast. And so in this episode, I'm just going to introduce the subject matter and myself. So it's called Holistic Lifestyle Guide because I like to guide people into building a holistic lifestyle. And so the word holistic means whole. And so that usually pertains to the body, mind, and the soul because we are all three. We are a body, we are a mind, and we are a soul. And in order to achieve optimal health, we need to pay attention to all three of those areas. So that's where there's kind of a misconception about holistic health. Most people just think of alternative health therapies and ways to beat disease or attack cancer, that kind of thing. But really, holistic health is it's there's more to it than just alternative therapies or holistic medicine. It's actually a way to live healthily all the time. So that's why I like to incorporate the lifestyle factor in it because you need to build a lifestyle based around nature and build a lifestyle that's aligned with the seasons, aligned with the cycles of the day and the cycles of the month and the cycles of the year. So those are it's really very simple being healthy. It's not as complicated as people make it out to be. So this episode here is just going to give a little overview of the whole holistic health thing as far as lifestyle goes. Um, so it kind of revolves around routines and habits. Now, when I say routines and habits, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that sounds boring. No way. But it's actually quite fun because it's really self care. That's all it is. Um, Routines, like morning routines and nighttime routines, are literally just self care practices. Like, you wake up in the morning, and one of the first things you might want to do is meditate, and that is a self care practice. And that's fun. I mean, it might not sound fun to somebody that doesn't meditate yet, but everybody knows that it's one of the best things you can do for your body, mind, and your soul. So it's one of those things that um, I always mention, along with a couple other things like yoga. Yoga is actually one of the few exercises that's good for the body, mind, and the soul too. Um, well, actually, they all kind of are. It's just that yoga is more into spirituality, um, spirituality aspect. So it's a very well-rounded exercise. And another thing that's really good for the whole body, mind, and the soul is journaling, and that's something that I talk about quite often and something that I like to advocate. I actually have another whole side business based on journaling. It's a website and a YouTube channel where I focus just on journaling and, you know, sometimes planners, things like that, because that is such a big part of what I do. And I'll get more into this in a little bit, but that's what I sell on my Etsy shop. And because I started this holistic lifestyle guide blog and I wrote my book, and I realized the more that I went on with it that there are some things that are just um, they're fundamental, they're basic. They are things that if everybody did, the whole world would be a better place. And so I put journaling on that list too. And that might be something that most people don't think about because, it's not something that directly affects your health, so they think, but journaling is really amazing. It's therapeutic. If you can't go to a therapist and you might have some mental struggles, then journaling is amazing for that. So I want to go now into how I came to be what I am. I'm a blogger, a product creator, author, um, whatever else goes along with all of that stuff. As far as the every aspect of my business, I do myself. Everything. I write my blog posts myself. I record my YouTube videos myself. I do all my social media marketing. I wrote my book myself and published it on Amazon, and my Etsy shop I built myself. All my products I create myself. I just do it all. So how I became what I'm doing started, well, kind of. I'm in my late 40s right now, and I I kind of have always had an interest in health, but it didn't really become a lifestyle thing until maybe 10 years ago, maybe 5, 10 years ago. Um, because I went through a lot of my life, my 20s and 30s pretty much, living the complete opposite of what I should have. Like my ideal um not yeah, customer, I guess you'd say, my ideal audience would be the exact person that I used to be. I was a person who I would get drunk all the time on weekends. Almost every weekend I was drunk. I ate fast food all the time. I don't think I ate a single vegetable hardly in my 20s and 30s, maybe a little bit, but you know what I mean. I just kind of I lived very unconsciously. I had the same job for 18 years in a factory. And that was a job that was more or less forced upon me by my dad who worked at this factory. So he kind of arranged the interview, and I just, I did it for 18 years, and the only reason I left that job was because they did a massive layoff and ended up closing. So at that point in my life was around the same time, a little bit after, that I started really getting into holistic stuff, like spirituality, realizing that I'm more than just a body, realizing that life is yours to create and we shouldn't live unconsciously. We should live to be our optimal self. We should work towards the top of the pyramid, so they say. You might have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's something that I live by. The very bottom is physical health. It's all of your survival needs. You need food, you need shelter, you need a dry place to sleep, and you need the correct food and water and sunlight and movement. So those are all of the things that humans need to survive. And I'm going to be doing separate episodes on all of everything that I know, including that. I just wanted to give a quick overview now of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you've never heard of it, the middle of the pyramid then would be um, branching out from there, like relationships, community, learning, and things like that. And then the very top of the pyramid is the spiritual aspect where you are evolving to your highest being. So you're another way to say it is you are being actualized, which is another term of, just becoming the best version of yourself you can possibly be, living your life purpose and that sort of thing. Manifestation and all of the things that are very, very high vibrational. And a lot of this stuff I love talking about. Spirituality is one of my favorite subjects in the world. And as far as the whole holistic health pyramid goes, the bottom, it's, nutrition and fitness and physical things, which is not my favorite. I mean, I teach it and I know all of the basics. I actually have a course on the basics of physical health. Well, actually, it's all three. It's a holistic health basics course, but it really just talks about the fundamental things that you need to put in place. You need to build your life around these things in order to be healthy. So, um, yeah, there's that. And then let's see. What else did I want to go over in this? Kind of want to go more into myself, I guess, because I didn't really finish that. So I grew up, working in a factory until I was in my mid 30s, and then around that time is when I started to think more holistically and try to dive into spirituality and explore what else was out there and just expand my mind and just, change my life. So I ended up completely changing my life. Many, many synchronicities happened and life events happened that got me where I am today. And, that's why I built my business because I want to help people to get to this point, but without the hard work that I had to go through. Well, I shouldn't say hard work, but to get to the point where I am now without having to go so many years of just not living to the fullest. So if you are in poor health, if you have some mental struggles, if you feel disconnected from your higher self and the universe and nature, then that's who I'm speaking to. That is my audience because now that I've learned all of the things that can help people become their best person that they can be, I want to share it because it's it's just life changing. So yeah, I started getting more into all of this stuff, learning, just I was a sponge for all of it. I spent probably thousands of dollars on education as far as um, holistic courses, natural health courses, nutrition courses, spirituality courses, even journaling courses. So I've just accumulated a lot of information, and it was about time that I started sharing it with the world, and that was one of the things that helped me live my best life was to start this business. So I wrote the book, which is it's not the best I don't know how to put it into words, but it's a smaller book. It's really just all of the information that I've learned over the years. It's kind of basic stuff. I mean, I did not go to any colleges. I didn't get any degrees or diplomas in anything. Well, I guess I do have some smaller diplomas, but they're more in like naturopathic medicine, but not to the point where I can practice it, not to the point where I can, become a doctor. It's not like that. It's really just basic information that I learned, and honestly, I think there should be specialists for those sort of things. There should be, if you have serious, not chronic, but if you actually have serious health issues such as diseases that can threaten your life, or if you have cancer, I think you should go to a specialist that has gone to has gotten the degrees to help people, and that's not where I am. What I do is really just guide them to this information to give them, so they can decide for themselves where to go from there. It's mostly just for prevention. Holistic health is it's a field of prevention. So it's not something you want to turn to when you are in the late stages of a disease or something. So it's best if you're already healthy or if you just have some minor chronic issues, then holistic practices can work for you. Um, so most of it is really just lifestyle stuff, which is why I focus more on the lifestyle than I do on the remedies. So I don't want to be one of those people that will hear what your symptoms are and then rattle off a bunch of remedies that you can try because everyone is different. That's a very key thing, and I can't see you in person and I can't give diagnoses, you know. So what I do is just teach people how to build the lifestyle that will support health. And so it will help you prevent these things from happening in the first place if you start soon enough. And it's something that I regret. Really regret that I couldn't start this soon enough. Um, I spent so many years, like I said, like 15 to 20 years, maybe even 25, literally just going to the same job I didn't like every day, eating fast food and processed food. And then on the weekends, I would just party with my friends. And that was not a good lifestyle. So I also, stayed up late a lot. I mean, sometimes I stay up late now, but not overnight like I used to. I mean, there'd be times where I'd get home at 4 a.m., and that's not healthy at all. So I learned all this information and decided I'm going to make my life as good as it can possibly be, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So that's what I've been doing now for 10 to 15, 5 to 10 years, I'd say. So I'm very honored that if you're listening to this podcast right now, because I to help people is one of the best feelings in the world. I've already been writing my blog posts for a year and a half, and the book is a year and a half old, and I just put out some courses. So, yeah, it's just really super nice to help people. And I also have my products, my Etsy products, and so they are, you know, one of my most things that I'm proud of because they really bridge the gap between point A and point B, between the learning the information and applying the information to your life. Everybody knows that you can read a book, you can watch a video, but it's not going to change your life just doing that. What you need to do is um, you need to create an action plan. And that's why I love journals and planners so much because processing your feelings, getting stuff out on paper, writing down why you want to do something, all the steps to do it, it's really good motivation and inspiration to get your life better. So that's why I love making the products that I do and I love helping people. And I've had many people say that my products and information has helped them and that's just amazing. I just love when people can change their lives and so that's my goal. So I think I'm gonna end this episode now. I really just wanted to give an introduction to myself and how I got started doing this and everything that I do. So just to end the video, or this, I'm so used to making videos. To end this podcast, I'm just going to repeat everything that I do, and so that you can find everything. If you're looking for anything, I'm gonna give you where everything is. So I have the website, of course, holisticlifestyleguide.com. I usually put out a blog post mm, 2 to 3 times a month. I was doing it every week, but sometimes I skip a week because I just have so much going on. I'm doing everything myself, so can't always write a blog post. But now that I've had my website for about a year and a half, I've pretty much gotten all the information out that I wanted to, and from here on out, it's just going to be whittling down to even, more detailed information. All right, so that's the website. If you're a visual learner, I have the YouTube channel, Holistic Lifestyle Guide on YouTube. I pretty much always put a video out every week. And I also have all the social media channels. I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Why am I blanking now? But pretty much all of this, Pinterest. Um, and then I also have the book, but I will say that my book is available for free in PDF format if you purchase my one of my online courses, which is the Holistic Lifestyle Basics, is what it's called. You can find that from my website as well. So there'll be a link to that. And then what you get in the course is a bunch of videos and a bunch of workbooks that go along with the videos. some printable checklists, and then the book. So, what else? There's the Etsy shop, which is where I sell all of my printable planners, journals, checklists, workbooks, and other assorted printable things. So when I say printable, that means literally anything that you can print. Um, well, there's a very, very, very big library of stuff out there, but I don't make everything. I mean, printables is such a vast category of stuff. Um, what I do is just the health related stuff pretty much. It's all stuff related to physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. And then I've also got some planner type things that are, to schedule your day, like to do lists, meal planning, things like that. So you can check that out on Etsy. The name of the Etsy shop is Holistic Lifestyle 101. And the reason why I had to name it that was because they don't have enough characters, so I had to drop the guide and add something that made it sound good. So that's what that's called. So you'll pretty much find everything from my website. So if you just go to that, or just keep listening because I'm going to be making podcast episodes about all of my blog posts. So and everything else that I do as well. So anytime I have something to promote, something to share, just some random bit of information to talk about, that's what I'm going to share with you in this podcast. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you will be on board for the next episode.